Hello, Army! Welcome back to Taehyung Buzz, your daily source for the latest, hottest, and most heart-stirring updates about BTS. From breaking news to unforgettable moments, we've got everything you need. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned because something extraordinary is coming your way. When Tae stepped back into the spotlight, no one expected Jungkook to react the way he did. What happened on that stage didn't just shock the ARMY, it left thousands absolutely speechless. Was it planned? Was it instinct? Or was it something far more emotional than anyone realized? Stay right here, because what you're about to witness might be the most unforgettable Taehyung moment of the year. The arena lights had barely dimmed when a ripple of anticipation rolled through the crowd. It wasn't just excitement, it was heavier, trembling, the kind of emotion that had been building for months. ARMY had waited so long for this moment, and when the first spotlight sliced through the darkness, every heartbeat in the venue seemed to sink into one. Tae stepped forward slowly, his silhouette appearing as cheers erupted like a tidal wave. His return wasn't just an entrance, it felt like a reunion, a healing, something the fandom needed more than anyone realized. But even through the chaos of the crowd, something else was happening in the shadows of the stage. Jungkook, standing slightly off to the side, froze the instant Tae appeared. His eyes widened, not dramatically, but noticeably. A raw, unfiltered expression slipped through, one that only appears when a person is truly overwhelmed. For a moment, he didn't move. He simply watched Tae walk into the light as if he needed a second to process that this was real, that Tae was really back. Then suddenly, without hesitation, Jungkook stepped forward. Then another step, and another. His pace quickened, like something inside him refused to wait any longer. The crowd didn't notice yet. They were focused on Tae lifting his hand and giving that soft, unmistakable smile only he has. But the members noticed, the staff noticed, and anyone who replayed the clip later definitely noticed. Jungkook wasn't walking. He was moving with urgency, emotion that demanded to be felt. When he reached Tae, he didn't speak. He didn't need to. Tae turned, surprised by how close Jungkook suddenly was. For a moment, the noise faded into a dull hum. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Relief? Disbelief? Pride? Maybe even a quiet affection that cameras always try to capture, but never quite succeed at. Tae laughed first, soft, breathy, the kind of laugh that only escapes when someone feels genuinely safe. Jungkook lowered his head slightly, almost shy, as if he hadn't expected his own emotions to hit so hard. And then he did something no one saw coming. He pulled Tae into a hug. Not a playful hug, not a greeting, but a real, tight embrace, one that made Tae freeze for half a second before melting into it. ARMY's screams instantly shifted into something explosive. The other members exchanged surprised looks, half smiling because even they hadn't expected Jungkook to break formation like that. But Jungkook didn't care. For the first time that night, he wasn't thinking about choreography or camera angles. He was thinking about one thing. Tae was here again, laughing, shining, standing beside him like he always had. When they pulled apart, Jungkook kept his hand on Tae's shoulder a heartbeat longer, like grounding himself. Tae looked at him with a softness that didn't need words. The lights shifted, signaling the next segment, but the entire atmosphere had changed. Something emotional had cracked open on stage, something genuine, something real. And real moments between them are the ones that become legends. As the performance continued, Jungkook couldn't hide it. He reacted to every small thing Tae did. A deep vocal line, Jungkook's eyes flicked toward him. A laugh during a move he loved, Jungkook's head turned like a reflex. During the chorus, their shoulders brushed. Cameras caught Jungkook's hand lift, hesitating, almost reaching for Tae's arm. He didn't touch him, but the intention was unmistakable. Tae noticed. Of course he did. And he smiled, a tiny, private smile meant only for Jungkook. Jungkook smiled back before forcing himself into performance mode. But it was too late. The moment was real, and it slipped through. After the song, Tae stepped forward to greet the crowd. Overwhelmed by their cheers, he pressed his hand to his chest, eyes shimmering. Jungkook watched him from behind, soft, emotional, proud. Cameras captured the exact second his expression shifted into something vulnerable. When Tae thanked ARMY, voice trembling with sincerity, Jungkook unconsciously stepped closer, and when Tae finished, still holding the mic, Jungkook gently squeezed his shoulder, quietly, personally, not for the cameras. Tae looked back at him, and again, something passed between them. A moment of, I'm here. A moment of, I know. Throughout the night, small moments kept slipping through. Longer touches during formation changes, playful nudges, exchanged smiles, a water bottle passed with fingers brushing. Fans caught everything. Clips spread instantly. Screenshots flooded the internet. But on stage, none of that mattered. This wasn't scripted. This wasn't planned. This was two people reconnecting, emotion resurfacing through the cracks. By the time Tae's solo stage arrived, Jungkook's reaction was impossible to ignore. He watched Tae with a focus that bordered on reverence. When Tae hit an emotional note with his eyes closed, Jungkook visibly softened. When Tae opened his eyes again, he looked, not at the crowd, but toward Jungkook. It lasted a heartbeat, but everyone saw it. When the song ended, Jungkook was the first to step forward and lift Tae from his bow, making him laugh softly in embarrassment. Later, during their ment, Jungkook hesitated before speaking. He glanced at Tae as if seeking reassurance, and when he finally said, "Tonight feels special," everything shifted. Tae's reaction, surprised, then warm, then deeply soft, made the entire stadium erupt. When the final song came, they danced with renewed energy, nudging each other, laughing freely. And during the final bow, Jungkook didn't just hold Tae's hand, he intertwined their fingers, and Tae squeezed back. The crowd roared. The cameras caught it, and a moment turned into a memory. When they left the stage, Jungkook lingered before turning to Tae with a soft, private smile. Tae bumped his shoulder as if to say, "Come on, let's go." They walked backstage, side by side, disappearing behind the curtain, leaving the world buzzing. Backstage chaos swirled around them, but the moment they stepped behind the curtain, everything else blurred. Tae exhaled deeply, still glowing from the stage. Jungkook watched him quietly, approaching gently. "You okay?" asked Jungkook softly. Tae nodded, slowly, thoughtfully. "Really?" Jungkook pressed. Tae stepped closer. "Really good." They stood silently, letting the night settle between them. Later, in the dressing room, Jungkook kept glancing toward the door until Tae finally walked in, hair messy, cheeks flushed, smiling softly. And the second Jungkook saw him, something inside him eased, like the missing piece of the night had returned. When Tae's eyes found Jungkook across the room, they softened instantly.